Hey, beautiful person. I was sitting and doing my morning practice this morning, which changes. I've been thinking a lot about morning practices lately. And I think that one of the places where I tend to get stuck, I think morning practices are a really great idea. I like to be super conscious about how I start my day and what the energy is that I start my day with, and kind of allow into my, energetic sphere while I'm kind of waking up and orienting to the day. And I think that one of the places that I get stuck is that, I get into this like routine of like one morning practice, and then I kind of feel like stuck in it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. So I kind of give it up. So I've been practicing with just making space in the morning to do something that increases my vibration and roots and grounds me and gets me in the frame of mind that I want to be in for the day. And then I get to choose what it is. So I don't feel like I'm like sticking to one thing or stuck in one thing. So lately I've been reading stuff about abundance and wealth every morning, just with my coffee, taking about 15 or 20 minutes to read. And I'm reading through a book that someone in my coaching program recommended, which is definitely problematic. I also understand that it was written a really long time ago, but it's kind of a a pillar in the field of money mindset, and there are some really great nuggets in it. So I'm sort of letting go of the things that I'm like, what? He said what? And just trying to, pull out the pieces that really matter to me. But I was combining that in my thought. The reason I'm making this for you this morning is that today's the third day of the Biz Elementals 3-day retreat for May. And we were talking about receiving yesterday, which is exactly what I picked up the book and started reading this morning. And I wanted to share a story with you because this is so, so, so important in the cultivation of wealth. And I think that it's a place where many, many women get stuck. So I wanted to share it with you. So the story goes like this. Many years ago, probably about 10 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, let's say 9 to 10 years ago. I was just starting this sleeve. So this entire arm is a spell for abundance, the whole thing. And I was with my boo, Jen Moore, who back then wasn't even a friend yet. She was just my tattoo artist. And we were starting, this whole arm was like blank. Well, I had this woman, but all the rest of my arm was empty. And we were starting just this sapphire and this golden cuff. And I was sitting in her chair up in Portland, Maine. I had just come up for like 3 or 4 days from New York City. I used to travel up to Portland to see her and to do my sittings. And I was telling her this funny story. I was newly single, and this really cute tattooed guy asked me out for dinner. And I went out to this like really nice place in Brooklyn, New York, with him, and we had this great dinner. And the funny story that I was telling her was about how when the check came, he went to grab it, and I was like, no, let me get it. And he was like, no, girl, like I asked you out for dinner, let me pay the bill. And I was just so resistant. And finally we kept arguing about it. And finally I was like, fine, let me split it with you. And he was like, after like 5 minutes, he was like, okay, you can split it with me. And I was telling it because I was laughing and I thought it was a funny story. I'll never forget what she did. She put the machine down. With her gloved hand, she covered up what she was working on. And she looked at me with this look that she has. If you know Jen Moore, you know the look where she's like, are you fucking kidding me right now, girl? And I was like, what? And she's like, we are literally injecting beneath the top layer of skin a spell for abundance and wealth. And you're telling me that you are so blocked to receiving that you can't even let the hot guy that asked you out for dinner pay for your meal. She's like, are you seeing that? And I was like, oh, wow, I didn't actually think of it that way. And she's like, this is a major fucking problem. And she was like, nothing that we can do is going to work over that layer of lack of ability to receive on your part. You cannot create wealth. You cannot create financial stability. You cannot create a thriving business with a mindset that will not even allow you to accept dinner from a cute guy that asked you out. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And so the next few months, including the next 15 to 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes of that session, were the beginning of me learning how to open up to receiving, which is still a struggle, right? There's no point of destination. I honestly still struggle. My daughter and I, my daughter who's 15 and I work on accepting compliments. Like she'll be like, "You look pretty today, Mom." And I'll be like, "Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm gorgeous. Thank you." Which sounds like a joke, but like it's real hard. Those of you know, like raise your hand if you know if it's hard for you to accept compliments gracefully. But so and one of the pieces that we work on in the Biz Elementals program is what are the blocks to what you say you want? Because if there are no blocks, it's really easy to make happen what you want to happen. If it's not happening easily, there are blocks, your focus isn't clear enough, or you don't have the support, tools, strategy, systems, accountability to create it. Those are the things that are happening if what you want, if what you say you want is not happening. So I wanted to share a quick story, a quick piece from this book where Ecker is talking about the second major reason most people have problems with receiving, because I think that this is really important and it really makes you think about the energetics of what you're putting out into the world when you block receiving. He said the second major reason most people have a problem with receiving is that they've bought into the adage, it's better to give than to receive. I don't know how many times I heard that growing up. Let me put this as elegantly as possible. What a crock. That sentiment is total hogwash. And in case you haven't noticed, it's usually propagated by people in groups who want you to give and them to receive. The whole idea is ludicrous. What's better, hot or cold, big or small, left or right, in or out? Giving and receiving are two sides of the same coin. Whoever decided that it's better to give than to receive was simply bad at math. For every giver, there must be a receiver. And for every receiver, there must be a giver. Think about it. How could you give if there weren't someone or something there to receive? Both have to be in perfect balance to work 1-to-1, 50-50. And since giving and receiving must always equal each other, they must also be equal in importance. Besides, how does it feel to give? Most of us would agree that giving feels wonderful and fulfilling. Conversely, how does it feel when you want to give and the other person isn't willing to receive? Has anyone ever been in that position where you really wanted to do something nice or give something and the other person blocked it? Most of us would agree that it feels terrible. So know this. If you are not willing to receive, then you are ripping off those who want to give to you. You are actually denying them joy and pleasure that comes from giving. Again, everything is energy. And when you want to give but can't, the energy cannot be expressed and gets stuck in you. That stuck energy then turns into negative emotions. To make matters worse, when you are not willing to fully receive, you are training the universe not to give it to you. It's simple. If you aren't willing to receive your share, it will go to someone who is. If you aren't willing to receive your share, then it will go to someone who is. So my encouragement for you, and we talked about this yesterday in terms of like, this is one of those really magical pieces of growing a thriving business, of creating financial stability, of being able to have your own oxygen mask on so that you can go out into the world and do what you love and have the impact that you want to have. This is part of it. This ability to receive, this openness to receive, the understanding that just by breathing, just by being in this body, you are worthy of receiving. That's it. And that you cannot possibly create wealth and abundance and joy until you clear up whatever schism you have going between you and receiving. So my homework for you, if you choose to accept, and I'd love if you come into Sacred Biz Rebels and let me know how this is working for you. My homework for you is to really look at how you receive and see how you can receive more. So practicing thank you when someone gives you a compliment. Practice letting someone easily buy you that cup of coffee or, brunch or whatever it is, just saying, thank you so much. I accept. Thank you for treating me. I even did this thing. I don't know. Those of you who are friends with me on Facebook might have seen this, but when I was going through a period of really practicing like radical opening to receiving, and I have an Elfster wish, like it's like just a wish list of like stuff I want. There's like jewelry from Etsy. There's like painting. Most of it is actually from Etsy because I love buying things on Etsy. But so I have it all on an Elfster list, and I put up the list on Facebook, public setting, and I said, I am accepting gifts. If anyone wants to buy me a present, I'm accepting gifts. And it was excruciating. I was like, oh my God, that's such a piggy thing to do. But I got that it was really important, and I put it out there, and I actually got a couple of things bought off Etsy and mailed to me. And it was really, really sweet to just practice receiving. So my, you're putting so much towards figuring this exact thing out right now. I see that in the comments. Yeah, it's a really big deal. And make no mistake, it is an issue in your business. It has to do with everything. It has to do with setting rates. It has to do with asking for referrals. It has to do with asking people to re-sign or repurchase from you. It has to do with everything in your business. This ability, this deeming yourself worthy and opening to receiving in the best possible way. So drop comments below, like this video, share it, tag women if you think that other women that you know need to see it. And I look forward to your comments in Sacred Biz Rebels. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Mwah.